You know, they thought they could push around an old man with gray hair and a quiet farm. Thought they could roll up with their fancy papers and loudmouth threats, and I'd just roll over. Well, they didn't know Jack Thompson, my granddad, and they sure as hell didn't know his dogs, Duke and Scout. When those HOA goons showed up at Willow Creek, they learned real quick they'd picked the wrong fight. I'm Jake, by the way, and this story's about my granddad, a 74-year-old vet who's seen more than most folks could dream of, living out on his 12-acre spread in Willow Creek, Idaho. Granddad's place isn't just some picture-perfect farm, it's a piece of him, built with sweat and precision from his days as an Army engineer, 3 tours in Iraq, no less. Every fence post is straight as a ruler, every barn beam squared away like it's ready for inspection. And then there's Duke, a German shepherd with eyes that see right through you, and Scout, a Belgian Malinois, who moves like he's got a mission plan in his head. Those two aren't just petite soldiers, trained by Granddad in the desert, taught to read a threat faster than most people can blink. Me, I grew up watching him work those dogs, learning the difference between hold the line and neutralize. Granddad's rule was simple: never let the dogs loose unless it's the last resort. And trust me, they listened better than I ever did as a kid. Trouble started about 4 months back when the Willow Creek Homeowners Association decided Granddad's farm was an eyesore in their shiny new neighborhood. See, his land was there long before their McMansions sprouted up, bought in '85, way before their bylaws were even a thought. But that didn't stop Evelyn Harper, the HOA president, a woman who wore her designer blazer like it gave her the right to rule the world. She sent Granddad a letter, certified mail and all, listing off nonsense violations: unauthorized farming, improper livestock, buildings that didn't match the community vibe. I was there when he opened it, sitting on his porch, the sun dipping low over the creek, painting everything gold. He read it, chuckled that dry laugh of his, the kind that says someone's about to regret crossing him, and said, "Jake, they think this is my first rodeo." Now, Granddad's not the type to just sit there. He's a planner, always has been. Back in Iraq, he built bridges under fire, outsmarted enemies who were a lot scarier than some HOA busybody. So he started digging, pulled records on every HOA board member, found out Evelyn's fancy guest house was 2 feet too close to her property line, and the treasurer was running an illegal car repair shop out of his garage. He even caught their newsletter breaking postal laws, petty stuff, but it added up. While he was at it, he set up a security system, military-grade stuff, night vision cameras, motion sensors, the works. He wasn't just protecting his land, he was building a case. Things got weird one night when Duke and Scout perked up, ears sharp, staring into the dark beyond the tree-line. Granddad checked his monitors and saw a guy creeping along the fence, snapping photos like he was on some covert op. The dogs didn't bark, just moved like ghosts, positioning themselves between Granddad and whatever was out there. That's when he knew this wasn't just about bylaws. Someone was watching, planning, and they weren't playing nice. Next morning, Granddad found a notice taped to his gate, big, official-looking thing claiming his property was being seized by the county in 7 days for community violations. Most folks would have panicked, but Granddad? He spotted the fakes a mile away. No case number, a cheap stamp instead of a court seal, and a judge's signature that looked like it was scrawled by a toddler. He knew Judge Clara Evans from his veteran advocacy work. Her real signature was sharp as a blade, not this mess. He snapped photos, preserved the paper for prints, and called up his neighbor, Tom Wheeler, a grizzled rancher who'd seen it all. Tom leaned back in Granddad's kitchen, coffee in hand, and said, "Jack, this ain't right. Evelyn's been meeting with some out-of-state suits down by the creek, fancy cars, briefcases, the whole deal. I saw a logo on one of the vehicles, Silver Ridge Ventures. That's no local outfit." Granddad didn't waste time. He wired his security system to a hub in his study, set up remote access, and started cross-referencing Silver Ridge Ventures. That night, his cameras caught a guy in tactical gear sneaking into the barn, planting a tiny camera in the horse stalls. Duke moved first, silent as death, blocking the guy's exit. Scout flanked him from the side, and just like that, the intruder was boxed in. Granddad watched it all unfold on his screen, calm as ever, letting the guy sweat for a good 3 minutes before strolling out with a flashlight and his phone recording. "Evening," he said, cool as a winter breeze. "Care to explain why you're wiring up my barn at midnight?" The guy, sweating bullets, pulled out a card. Nathan Reed, HOA security consultant, said he was checking for animal welfare issues. Granddad didn't buy it. The card was flimsy, no official seals, and when Nathan rolled up his sleeve, Granddad clocked a tattoo 82 ND military police. Same unit he'd trained dogs for back in the day. Nathan, he said, snapping a photo of the tattoo. Who's paying you to spy on an old man's horses? And don't give me that animal welfare crap. Nathan fumbled, handed over the camera some high-end wireless Job-in Duke, like he was showing off, carried it to the porch in his teeth, dropping it like a prize. Nathan muttered something about impressive training and bolted when Granddad gave the dogs the stand-down whistle. By now, Granddad knew this was bigger than Evelyn and her HOA cronies. I got a text from my place in Boise, same deal, same fake papers, same threats about my yard not being up to code. I sent Granddad photos of the documents, and he spotted the same formatting, same fake seals. This wasn't just local, it was a coordinated hit. Silver Ridge Ventures wasn't some small-time developer. They were a front for a bigger player, sniffing around for cheap land to turn into God knows what. Enter Sheriff Dan Carter, an old MP buddy of Granddad's from Iraq. Dan showed up at the farm, face grim, and laid it out. Jack, we've been tracking Silver Ridge for months. They're not building houses theory after rural land for toxic waste storage, low-level radioactive stuff, chemicals, you name it. They target old vets like you. Figure you're too tired to fight back. He dropped a bombshell. County Commissioner Greg Larson wasn't on some fishing trip like everyone though that was in Boise, meeting Silver Ridge execs, pocketing cash to hand over property records. This was fraud, big time, crossing state lines. Granddad didn't flinch. He'd faced worse odds in war zones. But when a convoy rolled up to his gate that night, 3 SUVs and a van, moving like they were ready for battle, he knew it was go time. Evelyn stepped out, megaphone in hand, flanked by 6 guys in tactical gear, Nathan among them, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. Mr. Thompson, she barked, under County Safety Code 12B, we're seizing this property. You've got 10 minutes to pack and get out, or we'll drag you out. Her papers looked legit from a distance, all seals and signatures, but Granddad was ready. He hit record on his phone, opened a live stream to the Willow Creek Community Watch group, and said, "Hey folks, it's Jack Thompson. You're about to see what happens when corporate bullies try to steal a veteran's land with fake papers." The viewer count shot up hundreds, then thousands, sharing the feed like wildfire. Granddad held up Evelyn's document, reading it aloud, tearing it apart. Code 12B? Doesn't exist. Check the county website yourself. And this signature? Judge Evans is in Coeur d'Alene on a case, not signing your nonsense. The chat exploded, folks posting links, confirming he was right. Then Scout moved, circling one of Evelyn's goons, keeping him just far enough from the group to make him nervous. The guy froze, realizing he was being herded by a dog smarter than him. Granddad narrated, half smirking. That's Scout, showing this fella some personal space. He's not biting, just suggesting. The crowd loved it, comments rolling in. Get him, Scout. Evelyn's face went red, her confidence cracking as Granddad kept poking holes in her story. Right then, Dan's patrol car pulled up, lights flashing, with 2 more sheriff's vehicles and a Fed in an unmarked sedan. Dan's voice boomed over his PA. Ms. Harper, step away from Mr. Thompson's property and show me some ID. Evelyn's team froze, realizing they were surrounded by real law enforcement. Nathan threw his hands up, shouting, "Sheriff, I'm just a contractor. I didn't know." He was ready to spill everything, and Granddad's live stream caught it all. 8,000 viewers and climbing. News outlets picking it up, veteran groups chiming in. Next morning, Granddad's farm was a circus. 300 neighbors, folding chairs from the VFW, news vans parked along the road. Colonel Sarah Brooks, a retired JAG lawyer with a reputation for shredding corporate crooks, took the stage well, a makeshift podium by the barn. She laid out Silver Ridge's scheme, a multi-state land grab for toxic waste dumps, targeting vets because they thought we'd roll over. Tom Wheeler, the rancher, dropped his own bomb spreadsheets showing Silver Ridge's bribes to HOAs, officials, even Nathan's fake security gigs. They had a formula, Tom said, shaking his head. How much harassment it'd take to break you. They put our homes in a damn Excel sheet. The crowd was pissed, but Granddad? He stood up in his old army uniform, Duke and Scout at his side, and said, "This wasn't about me being tougher or my dogs being scarier. It was about us together. You don't win by fighting alone. You win by knowing you're right and building a team." They voted right there, kicked Evelyn's board to the curb, set up a new HOA with folks who actually cared about the community. Nathan turned state's evidence, ratting out Silver Ridge and half a dozen crooked officials, including Larson. 6 months later, Granddad's farm is the Willow Creek Veterans Haven, acres of peace for vets to heal, grow crops, talk through the tough stuff. Duke and Scout are the stars, helping guys like me find their way back from the edge. Silver Ridge's execs are in federal lockup, their assets sold off to pay back the folks they screwed. But Granddad's not done. He told a reporter, sipping coffee on his porch, "The scariest thing isn't fake papers or corporate suits, it's good people staying quiet when someone's getting hurt. Don't let that happen. Not on your watch." So what do you think? Ever dealt with an HOA gone rogue? Or seen someone try to bully their way onto someone's land? Drop a comment. Tell me your story, because the more we talk, the harder it is for the bad guys to hide. Hit that like button, share this with your crew, and let's keep these fights out in the open where they belong.